Hello, everyone, and thank you all for tuning into the Shrine of Black Epistemology. I'm going to be your teacher for today, Reverend Dr. Shakir. We're going to be talking about psychometry, and we're also going to be talking about how it is that you can use cartomancy, which is the art or the science behind being able to read cards for the purpose of divination. So I'm going to be teaching you all how to read cards, but I'm not going to be teaching you all how to read them in the sense that I'm going to teach you all the definitions of what the cards mean. Instead, I'm going to be teaching you all about the ways in which you can use your intuition to interpret the cards. And as you can see before me, there are an array of different tools that I would suggest that you all purchase so that you all can figure out how to be able to read the cards. So what I'm going to do in the beginning of this is I'm going to explain the theory behind why it is that you can use your intuition to read cards. I'll explain the science behind why it works. And then after that, I'm going to demonstrate for you what it would be like for you to, and I want you to mimic me. I'm going to take you through a series of exercises. Through those exercises, I'm going to show you how it is that you can go about using cards to read for yourself. So some of you all were very presumptuous and were like, hey, I'm going to go and buy some tarot cards and I'm going to come into this learning how to read tarot. But guess what? Don't have tarot cards, got playing cards. So if you got tarot cards, it's fine, but we're going to be working with playing cards today. All right, so just to begin, to talk to you all about psychometry. So psychometry, there are two types of psychometry. So the first area of psychometry deals with the field of psychology, which is talking about the actual psychometrics or the relational distance or the psychological distance between two objects and how different functions of the body may cause for an object to move, or if you're trying to stand still, it's like, okay, am I making small vibrations? That is one area of psychometry. The area of psychometry that we're going to be exploring today, however, deals with the paranormal. And this area of psychometry is developed out of your intuition. So when we're defining psychometry in the paranormal sense of the word, we are talking about a spiritual gift that allows someone to feel and interpret the ashe, the mojo, or the energy of a person or an object, okay? So when we're thinking about psychometry allows us to just simply, as you can see the cell phone, if this weren't my cell phone, I should be able to touch this cell phone, and just by holding it and concentrating and focusing on the energy, I should be able to decipher specific information about the person that the cell phone has come in contact with, okay? So when you're thinking about psychometry is just an extension of using your intuition. It's an extension of using one of your other spiritual gifts known as clairsentience, okay? Clairsentience is your ability to feel things in the spirit. So sometimes you'll hear people say, well, I'm an empath. And they're saying that they pick up on energy, that they absorb energy. And what these energies do is these energies leave an impression on them. And from that impression, they're able to divine information from that impression that was left upon them. The difference between being an empath and someone that's clairsentient is that when you're empathic, you can just share space with someone and pick up on their energy. However, when you're thinking about clairsentience, you must be able to physically touch someone in order to be able to divine for them. This is the difference between someone that you sit down and get a reading with. They don't have any tools, but they divine for you different information about yourself, versus a palm reader who literally needs to touch your hand to divine the information for you about who you are. Okay, so when we're thinking about psychometry obviously uses these two abilities. So if you struggle through these exercises, which most of you probably are because it's your first time doing it, you're going to need to develop one or two things. You're either not going to need to strengthen the connection that you have to your clairsentience, or you're going to have to strengthen the connection that you have to your intuition. The ways in which that you go about strengthening your clairsentience is through the actual practice of giving readings. Because sometimes you're going to be right, sometimes you're going to be wrong, sometimes you're going to be all the way right, depends on your astrological makeup, who you are, where you were trained. But for the most part, if you're watching this video, there's a chance that you're going to experience some inaccuracies in the readings that you give. So you should actually practice touching things and then interpreting the information that you receive from it. The other area in which you'll need to strengthen yourself is your intuition, right? So your intuition can be strengthened through two means. You can pray and you can meditate. Prayer is a mode of communication to God. Meditation is a mode of listening to God. When you combine those two things, you start to see physiological and psychological changes in your body, especially when you do it repeatedly. Meditation improves your health. It helps you to become immune to disease. It lowers your heart rate, and it relaxes you and puts you in a calming space. That's the place that you need to be in order to successfully practice what it is that I'm going to be going about teaching you. Now, with that being said, here's some examples of how people may use psychometry. So let's say that you go to a church, right? And you go to a church and there's this woman that sits in the front of the church and she has in her pocketbook a Bible. And you say, you're sitting, for whatever reason, you're attracted to this woman, you spark a conversation, and you shake her hand, and as soon as she shakes your hand, she says, there's something real special about you. You have an anointing on your life. Now let's take that a step further. You continue the conversation with her, and then she touches your wedding ring. And she says to you, is this your ring? And you say, yeah, it is my ring. And then all of a sudden she starts telling you about your significant other. Personal, intimate details about your significant other that this person could not have gotten from anywhere other than a supernatural force. That's psychometry. So psychometry is your ability to describe in vivid detail the person. That in that instance could be to be able to describe in vivid detail the personality of an intimate person. Of a loved one that you don't know, so, your client's loved one. You can also use psychometry to describe in vivid detail the personality of someone that's of a deceased individual by touching an object that deceased person once dealt with or interacted with. And you can use psychometry to interpret the ashe or the mojo that still lingers on that particular object. A second example of psychometry. A second example of psychometry is your ability to touch someone's hand or shoulder. And through your spiritual gifts, you're able to determine things about them that you normally not know, such as their interests, their place of residence, or if they carry with them any generational curses. Okay? So you want to be careful of who you let touch you. When you go into someone's house, you want to be careful of the things that you touch. For example, you leave your mojo on people's dishes and they can use their dishwater to either bless or harm you because you leave your mojo on those dishes. So everything has energy within it. Everything has energy on it. Once energy has been created, it cannot be destroyed. It can only be transferred or transmuted. The theory behind why psychometry is a real thing is this. Anything or any person that comes into physical contact, or social contact, or emotional contact with another person or thing, leaves its ashe or mojo on that thing, even after the connection has been severed. This means that anything and everything that you touch has an invisible and everlasting karma. Does that make sense? Okay. You can find out any type of information you want to know about a person by spiritually examining the intimate objects that are associated with them. The inanimate objects associated with the people that touch them can be considered material fossils. And these fossils are basically artifacts that spiritualists can use to investigate and discover new meaning and depth about a person, a place, or a thing. Does that make sense? All right. So that's the theory behind psychometry and why it is that it works. So I'm going to show you all a few things that you're going to need in order to properly be able to practice psychometry with readings, okay? Here you can see a crystal ball. So I have a crystal ball. I'm going to be using my clairvoyance for the crystal ball, okay? Because sometimes we need to use our mind's eye or our imagination to help us describe in more vivid detail what it is that we're interpreting from an object that we touch. So you may not have a crystal ball. That's fine. But you have the ability to scry. If you have a cup of water, get a cup of water. If you have a bowl of water, get a bowl of water. If you have a mirror, get a mirror. Okay? And when you see me scrying from my crystal ball, you should be scrying from your bowl or your cup of water. Okay? As a matter of fact, we have a bowl of water right here. So you're going to see me scry into this bowl of water, and I'm going to scry into my crystal ball just to show you the effectiveness of both of these techniques. The other thing that you will need is you will need a journal, okay? You need this journal so that you can track your intuitive and your intellectual discoveries, okay? So this is my particular journal, right? So I mix in this journal different spells. Well, actually, I haven't even broken it in, but as of today, I'm going to be breaking it in for my own intuitive and intellectual discoveries that come from the readings that I'm going to be giving to myself. So with that being said, I want you all to make sure that you have a journal, because you're going to use this to track the results and your progress as you develop and learn more through doing these sorts of readings. You also want to use your crystal ball, and the things that you interpret from your crystal ball, you should also write those things down in your journal, because guess what? After 180 days of doing readings, this journal is going to be filled to the brim with information that is going to be valuable not only to you, but also to future generations that you leave behind. The other thing that I have for you all, incense. Incense. You need incense because you just want to make the space sacred. You want to be able to prepare the space. So if you have prayers, thank you. So my space is being prepared. If you have prayers, okay, go ahead and recite those prayers. If you meditate, go ahead and meditate. But what you can do is, as you see the smoke crossing over my face, you can inhale deeply and exhale deeply some of the smoke from the incense. Now, the types of incense that you should get to help you to prepare your space: frankincense, sandalwood, patchouli. Those are the 3 incense that I recommend when you are getting ready to do any type of spell work, okay? A writing utensil. A writing utensil. This is my favorite writing utensil because I have blessed and anointed it to specifically help me with my automatic writing. So not only am I going to be using scrying, readings, psychometry, I'm also going to be automatic writing. So you need to make sure that you have all of these items, or else you're not going to be able to properly perform this exercise. Okay? The final thing that you need, a deck of cards. You're either going to need tarot cards or you're going to need playing cards. Either tarot cards or playing cards, okay? It's best for these exercises for you to use playing cards, because playing cards are going to give you a lot more information than tarot cards would, especially because we're using psychometry. Okay? So now that you have blessed and anointed your space, okay? If you prepared your space, you lit your incense and all that, we're going to use psychometry to interpret one card, okay? One card. I don't know what entity you all are going to work with to help you all to deliver this information. I, of course, am going to be working with the Haitian Loa. You may choose to work with your ancestors. You may choose to work with a deity that is not of Haitian lineage. You may choose to work with a fairy or a demon or an angel so that you can do your readings. Or you may choose to work with your highest self, okay?
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we're having technical issues. The video is frozen for everybody and for us as well.
Click the low power mode.
Oh, okay.
I need to I need to charge the phone too. What was the last thing I heard? It doesn't matter. Okay, keeping it going. With that being said, okay, give myself together. And cut. All right, so with that being said, if you're watching, because I'm trying to think of how I need to edit this. With that being said, the items that you're going to need one last time, you're going to need a grimoire or a notebook, a pen so that you can write things down, a crystal ball or a bowl of water so that you can do water gazing, incense so that you can help to bring about good positive energy to the space, a deck of playing cards, or you're going to need a deck of tarot cards. But for the purpose of this exercise, we are going to be using playing cards. The first thing that I want you all to do is I want you all to shuffle your cards 5 times. Because 5 is a sacred number. I want you to shuffle your cards 5 times.
I can't tell if it's charging or not, huh?
Shuffle your cards 5 times, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to pull from the top of the deck. Even though I pull from the middle of the deck, I want you all to pull from the top of the deck. Now that you shuffle 5 times, what you're going to do, you're going to pull 1 card. What's the first card you get? Don't ask a question, but what's the first card that you get? The first card that I got, the 3 of spades. I didn't ask a question, but I got the 3 of spades. In this instance, I need to hold this card and touch this card and concentrate on this card's energy so that I can figure out what the hell this card has to say to me. Okay? So, the 3 of spades, what is it saying to me? What does my intuition tell me? My intuition is telling me that there's something that I'm feeling heartbroken about. Something that I haven't completely gotten over all the way. And I'm feeling the residual effects of it. I'm not exactly sure if this is an emotional situation or if this is an intellectual situation that I've gotten over. But I do feel that the 3 of spades is telling me that there's some sort of heartbreak that I'm experiencing. Now let's give a hypothetical scenario. Maybe I didn't know what the 3 of spades meant. What am I supposed to do? Well, I don't know what the 3 of spades meant. So I go into my journal and I start writing down 3 of spades. I write down, first you want to write down the date. Okay, the date that you did your reading, okay? So I'm going to write down the date that I'm doing this reading as 9/8/19. Today may not be the 8th, I don't know. It's 9/8/19. I pulled the 3 of spades. Okay? My experience with the 3 of spades, I don't know what this means. So I want to write that down. I don't know what the 3 of spades means on this day. I'm going to try to figure out how I can figure out what the 3 of spades means. But I don't have my intuition, my psychometry. Clearly, I can't use psychometry because my intuition and my clairsentience may not be developed high enough. So I write that down. I can't do this because I need to develop further. So I need to develop further. Okay, so there's further I have to go. In addition to that, I'm going to then go back and say, all right, let me try a different method. I may not know what the 3 of spades means. So I don't know if the 3 of spades is telling me about an emotional situation or a situation where I have there's an intellectual attachment to it still. So what am I going to do? I'm going to clarify one of 2 ways. I'm either going to clarify. Can somebody ignore that? I'm either going to clarify one of 2 ways. I'm either going to clarify by gazing into water, or I'm going to clarify by gazing into my crystal ball. All right, so I'm going to gaze into this water so that I can literally see. And if your intuition is developed, you should have no problem with water gazing. But this is not a water gazing class. This is a card reading class. Okay, I'm gazing into the water to see what it is that I can't. I don't see myself heartbroken. And as the water moves to the vibration of my voice, it's actually not about heartbreak. It's the residual effects of heartbreak. That something still has me shaking on the inside after a heartbreak. It seems like I'm still fearful and I'm still scared. And then the Spirit just showed me an image of myself on my knees. And I'm praying. But this lets me know I'm not praying enough. Because the three of spades should not have come out if I was praying more. About whatever this situation is. Okay, so I take that water. Okay, now that I got that new information, I need to write that down. Water gazing. What came of that? This is what happened to me. This is the information my ancestors had for me. This is what I intuited from that. This is the message that was given to me. Okay? Let's try that one more time. Let's run through the exercise one more time. I want you all to shuffle your cards 5 times again. This time I want you to ask the question, what is the status of my financial situation? What is the status of my current financial situation? You may not know what the meaning of these cards are, but that's not for you to know. Your ancestors are going to tell you. And if you don't know, you need to write it down. And then just keep it moving. Okay? I got the 8 of spades. This is talking about my financial situation. It's talking about me having a lot on my mind and me feeling trapped and tied up by my financial situation. Meaning that I got too many responsibilities ahead of me. And I'm feeling bound by them. The 8 of spades is telling me that I could easily walk away from any of these responsibilities to have more peace in my life. But for whatever reason, the spades representing things that I'm intellectually attached to or things that I'm influenced by, I don't want to let it go. So guess what? I need to write that message down. 8 of spades. This is what it means for me. And in addition to that, I'm not exactly sure about what it is that I need to... I'm not exactly sure about what's next for me in my business. What's next? That's the next question. So now that that's my financial situation, what's next? I want you all to shuffle your card. Keep the same card out. Shuffle your cards again 5 times. Shuffle again 5 times. What you're going to do now, clarification. I want you to pull 2 cards to clarify the one card that you pulled. The Queen of Clubs, the Jack of Clubs. These 2 cards are representing my staff. It represents the responsibilities that I have to my staff. And it also represents me not wanting to walk away from those responsibilities because I care about them. The clubs are here to represent action. It also represents represents people that are middle class or people that are going up, that are trying to be upwardly mobile. Okay? How do I know these meanings? Because I have a journal where I wrote down the meanings that came to me intuitively, and these were the meanings that my ancestors gave to me for my cards. You won't know everything that you need to know when you first begin this exercise. But after time, after serious practice, you're going to have an encyclopedia of definitions to help give you meaning and to help contextualize the meaning of these cards. So this is telling me that I care largely about my staff and the amount of money that they make and the amount of money that I make. But the 8 of spades is saying that typically I have walked away from things, but here it is, I'm not going to walk away. I'm going to stay bound by it because there are other people that depend on me. I'm going to now water gaze. I want a water gaze to bring about more detail to this reading. I'm gazing into the water. I see myself on a couch. I see myself sitting down watching Real Housewives of Potomac. I see myself smoking marijuana. Mm-hmm. I see myself doing these things because I'm trying to relax and trying to get my mind off of the 8 of spades. I'm trying to get my mind off of the responsibilities. Perhaps I need to do more of those things, or else this wouldn't have shown up in the reading. Guess what? Got to write that down. What's that? I got the Queen of Spades to clarify, and I got the Jack of Spades to clarify. And I know that these 2 cards represent people in my life because my intuition told me. And my water gazing told me this. You all got that? let's dig a little bit deeper, okay? Let's go a little bit further with the work that we do. I want you all to shuffle your cards 5 times. And I want you to, now, we're going to do a 3-card spread, okay? We're going to do a simple 3-card spread to just basically work with our ancestors. We're not going to ask our highest self now. I want you to ask the ancestors from 1100 BC. You want to tap into the ancestors from 1100 BC and to ask them, what information do they have for you about your destiny? Shuffle 5 times. Great. You shuffle 5 times. Smelling that incense. You ready for this reading?
Yes.
Pull your 3 cards. My ancestors from 1100 BC, the 8 of Diamonds, talking about my money. It's talking about stability in my home life with my money. The 7 of Spades, which is talking about affairs or romantic affairs. And the 6 of Spades, which is talking about old friendships returning to me. So this is talking about old friendships returning to me in a new way, perhaps romantic, and they're going to affect my money. So there's something in my destiny that says that something's going to happen in my future revolving an old friend that's trying to come around and wants to affect my money. I don't know exactly what this means. It's not enough information here. I have to clarify. So then I must shuffle my cards again 5 times, and I must clarify each of the cards that I get. This time in the exercise, I want you to pull 3 cards to clarify, but the 3rd card, keep it in your hand. This 3rd card, I now want you to intend for this 3rd card to be your solution to your problem that shows up from you reading about your destiny. Okay? Using the energy of psychometry, you're going to read the energy of this card. You're going to intuit about the historical meaning behind the number that you see in the card and the suit that you see in the card. Okay? And divine information from that. But first, we're going to go back to these clarifications. Keep this card in your hand. I got the 7 of hearts, and then I got the 9 of clubs. So this is letting me know that whatever this person brings in the future for me, it's almost like it could be a soulmate relationship. It also represents for me, this could mean that this person has a lot to offer, but I'm not sure what I want to choose. The 9 of clubs for me also represents a home that's been built, finished, and it needs to be passed down to someone. Or it could be a project that needs to be passed down to someone. Perhaps this is someone that's coming to me in my future that wants to work on a project with me that they're trying to pass down to me, and they're romantically interested in me. It could also mean I'm going to come up on some money through this relationship. But I'm not quite sure. But the 4 of clubs is the last card that I'm holding on to. This card is to help me to solve the problem that's being addressed to me in my particular reading. So from this 4 of clubs, what is the 4 of clubs saying to me? Now is the time that you want to meditate on the card. So with the incense that's burning, take 2-3 deep breaths, and then whatever's the first thing that comes to your mind, that's what your ancestors have to say to you. Whatever's the first thing that comes to your mind, it doesn't matter what it is, that's what they have to say. So the first thing that came to mind, they told me they were trying to bring me stability. They're trying to bring me stability. And I don't know why they're trying to bring me stability. Maybe I need to water gaze. Maybe I need to pull more cards. Who knows? But they're talking about stability. I need to know where is this stability going to come from? Like, what do you mean stability? Why would somebody need to bring me stability? So I'm going to gaze. This is stability in business because I see myself shopping at a particular place in Atlanta that has demons in its crystals. So I'm not spending enough time in my business. This person is going to recalibrate my thinking or recalibrate my mindset or recalibrate my taste so that I want to house different resources in my own space and have other people frequent my space so that they can become my customers and I no longer am the customers of people that sell crystals with demons in them. That's what I'm saying. And I see this person wants to help stabilize me because perhaps I'm too into other people's world and not into my own world. Okay? Now, I'm going to get you all to do another 3-card spread. This 3-card spread, you're going to ask these specific questions. But you're going to pull one card at a time, okay? So just follow along with me. Keep shuffling until your spirits tell you to stop. Shuffle until your spirits tell you to stop. Not until I tell you to stop. Shuffle until the spirit tells you to stop, okay? The spirit just told me to stop. All right. For the first card in this spread, represents the message that your ancestors have for you overall. What is their overall message? Pull the first card. I got the Joker. The Joker could represent the Fool in the tarot. The Joker could represent a genius. Because when you think about comedians, comedians are geniuses. The Joker represents someone who is so in tune with the dark side of life that they can go on a stage full of people, go into an audience full of people, and say everything that's completely dark and make the audience laugh and turn it into the light. So this is the Joker card. So there's something about the ancestors telling me that I probably need to be more humorous, more funny, more lighthearted, even if I deal with the darker sides of things. That's what the message is telling me. Okay? Now, I want you all to write that down. Write down what was the first thing that you got from that particular spread. Okay? I got the Joker. And as I was thinking about how the Joker related to me, I thought about light and dark. I thought about comedians. I thought about intelligence. And guess what? The Joker, as a card, now has intuitive definitions given to me by spirits that are now in my journal or my grimoire. That's the Joker. Now, I want to know, what is the solution to this message? Because every message has a solution. The 3 of Hearts. The 3 of Hearts represents celebration, festivities. It represents throwing events, parties, going on dates, just shallow, frivolous, recreational activity. And when you are thinking about the 3 of Hearts, or when I'm thinking about the 3 of Hearts, I'm intuiting and thinking about the number 3. That the number 3 is an odd number. And the number 3 also represents the Holy Trinity. So it's a sacred number. So that perhaps this is telling me that there are some type of sacred events that I'm supposed to be working on or celebrating. Perhaps this is about me celebrating a recent accomplishment and me not wanting to. Or me talking to an audience of people about a recent accomplishment. Or talking to an audience of people about a failure. And then articulating it in that comedic story as a recent accomplishment. Not quite sure. Obviously, I can clarify. But the most important thing that came out of this particular exercise from working with these 2 cards is that I'm now developing a working definition of the Joker and a working definition of the 3 of Hearts using my intuition and the intellectual knowledge that I have come to acquire through my numerological study of this card. The final card represents the consequences of not doing. what you were told to do. So if I don't celebrate, I want to know what are the consequences of doing those things. So I want you to pull a third card, okay? The third card, the Six of Clubs. The Six of Clubs is pretty much talking about the similar things as the Three of Hearts, but the Six of Clubs is talking about, this is talking about like a parade. You know, the Three of Cups is about an event. The Six of Clubs is about a season. This means that I may miss out on a season of celebration. I could miss out on a season of income, a season of upward mobility. I could miss out on a season of bonding with my friends. I don't want to take the chance of missing out on anything. I don't know what I could miss out on. I just don't want to miss out on the things that I intuited about. But now I know that the Six of Clubs represents a different type of festivity. I think of festivals and I think of parades. When I see the Six of Clubs, I think of the number 6 being double 3. So I'm just like, there's, it's double 3, but it's not 3 times 3, but it's 3 times 2. So I mean, perhaps this is doubling down on alcohol or marijuana. Maybe I need to do more of those things in order to bring out that jokester side of myself. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what my spirits also have to say to me. I'm going to water gaze so that these events can play out in my face as though I'm watching television. I'm seeing myself on Black Spectrum Network. I see myself wearing all white. I see my hair in a ponytail at the top of my head. And I see myself, I see me and I see another gentleman. I can't make out his face, but I see us entertaining you all, being funny. I see us drinking. I see him talking about funny things in his life and me interviewing him. I see me still being secretive as usual. I see me mocking people still. I see me using other people's misfortune for fodder. I'm still seeing distance between myself and my audience though. So I'm not exactly sure how much of this message I'm actually going to follow or use to solve my problems, but I hope I do it. Okay. We're going to do one last exercise with psychometry, okay? And then we're going to close this out. Hope you all learned something. Psychometry. I want you all to now shuffle your cards. I want you to do we're going to work with 5 cards. Okay? 5 cards. Okay? I want you to pull your first card. Stop shuffling when the spirit tells you to stop shuffling. Okay? The first card represents, I want you to ask a question about your love life. The first card represents the heart of the matter. Or what's the core problem, okay? The first card that I get, the 2 of Diamonds. This is talking about money. So money is getting in the way of my love life. Balancing my money. Making ends meet with my money. Building a structure with my money. Black Spectrum Network with my money. Seems like that's getting in the way of me dating, relationships, love life. I don't really care right now. But let's see the consequences of it. So let's look at the second card, the consequences of the heart of the matter. The consequences of their problem being unaddressed. The 4 of Diamonds. My stability in my home life. I'm going to have a lot of money, but I'm going to be alone. I'm going to have a lot of material wealth, but I'm not going to have anybody to share it with. Consequence. Do I care right now? Not really. But let's pull a third card. This third card is going to be, what is holding you back from making change? The 3 of Clubs. What's holding me back from making change? My inability to collaborate, cooperate, or to listen to other people. To listen to other people's advice about my life. To hear what it is that they have to say And when they're trying to tell me the truth, I may shut it down just simply because I'm like, you know what, that doesn't fit into my larger picture of what I see for myself and what I see for my life. And it makes sense when I look at the other two cards why these would be here. But make sure, you guys, make sure that you're writing these things down as you do them. I'm not writing these things down because I've been past my 180-day probationary period. Okay, the fourth card. What happens if I do make the changes? The Ace of Diamonds. More money. A new business. A new business partnership with somebody. I mean, that pretty much falls in line with the reading that I gave myself earlier. Yours should as well, because Spirit is very intelligent. If your readings are not coherent at this point in this video, you need to go back, pray, and meditate, okay? And you need to stick to your prayer and meditation regimen because your intuition is either artificial or is flimsily constructed. The last card, and I'm going to shuffle just because my ancestors told me to. The final card is, what do my friends and family think of this situation at hand? What do they think about my love life? The Jack of Diamonds. Here it is for me, the Jack. What does my ancestors say? The Jack represents, the Jack in this particular instance is representing it represents not a gentleman or a woman. This just represents an individual. Because I don't get any gendering from this card. So they're telling me it's an individual. This individual is a know-it-all. They're a know-it-all in the terms of health, business, law. That's what I'm hearing. This Jack of Diamonds, and this is how other people would see me, a know-it-all. This individual's a know-it-all. And this individual's focused on money. Because it's a Jack. But, I mean, it's also at the same time, because it's a Jack, there's a lot of potential for this person to grow. But it's also a Jack, so it's like this person is not not operating at their highest octave because they're not a king, and they definitely ain't a queen. So this lets me know I'm not operating at my highest octave. People don't feel I'm operating at my highest octave because I'm a know-it-all and I'm too individualistic, which makes sense when I think about the reading that I just gave myself about relationships and how it is that I need to change from relationships. So I want to see through my ancestors how my friends see me. I'm going to look at how my friends and my loved ones see me. I'm going to look at it through their eyes using my water gazing ritual. Okay, I see myself in front of a whiteboard or a chalkboard. I have a pointer where I'm literally pointing at things and I'm not saying anything. My mouth isn't even moving. So people see me as someone that points people in the right direction. I'm a man of few words, and if I do speak, it is important. And I'm a teacher. And because it's a whiteboard that I just saw, then it means that I'm someone that's great with working with blank canvases. So that's what they think of me. But show me what they think of me in terms of how that relates to my love life. I see myself across from multiple different men. It's like 5 men sitting in different chairs. I see myself sitting down, and I see myself arguing back and forth with all of them. I see myself trying to explain to them who they are, what their destiny is, what they should be doing with their lives, and as they come back and talk to me, my back is turned and I'm not even listening. So this lets me know that my friends think that I'm a know-it-all and I bring that energy and that personality to my relationships. And it inhibits me from being able to create a space or to facilitate a space where people can exchange ideas with me and bond with me, okay? So with that being said, how was I able to interpret that information from a bowl of water? Well, because when I touched the bowl and my eyes gazed into the water, there was a connection there. Once my eyes met the water, even if I'm not looking at the water, I can't sever the connection. the water is always going to speak back to me. The vibration always will speak back to me. It's always going to send messages to my intuition. Okay? So with that being said, I hope that you all have learned something tonight about cartomancy and psychometry. I hope that these exercises have really helped you. Make sure that you write down everything that you intuit. Everything that's intellectual. Even, and especially if there's a meaning that I gave to you all about the cards that I used and it resonates with you, write that down. Because when you don't know what something means, you will need to go back to this, which will become your dictionary, your encyclopedia, your thesaurus, and your glossary. That's what this will be, okay? The more work that you do, the stronger this becomes, and the more effective this becomes. And that's what we're really trying to make sure gets stronger, okay? So, with that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning into the Shrine of Black Epistemology. I have been your teacher/professor for today, Reverend Dr. Shakir. And I have very much enjoyed showing you all how to do cartomancy using psychometry, and also how to use water scrying to help clarify the things that you all have intuited. All right, you guys, I'll see you all next time for another episode of these classes. Bye.